In 1959, a survey was handed out to a large group of American scientists, and one of the questions that they asked in the survey was, what is the age of the universe? And now, 1959, the majority of scientists answered, wait a minute, age, universe, what do you mean? The universe has been around forever. The universe is eternal. And that is because the science that we had in the 50s and any time before the 60s was steeped in Greek philosophy, 2,400 years old, from the days of Plato and Aristotle, where we were taught that the world's been around forever. The eternality of the world was the widely accepted principle. And that is obviously in sharp contrast with the very first word of the Torah. Bereshit, in the beginning, there was a beginning. The universe had a beginning. Now, fast forward 6 years later, and the discoveries of Penzias and Wilson of the cosmic microwave background radiation, which for those of us not heavily steeped in science means the echo or the afterglow of the Big Bang, where science had finally come all the way around and agreed that the world, the universe, had a beginning. So just like that, with one bang, science has come around to accept the very first word of the Torah. The truth is that as Jews that we know that any ideal, any belief, any principle that is contradictory to Torah will eventually be debunked. So you may have 2,500 years of widely accepted opinions that if they are in contrast to Torah, eventually they'll fall away like they have all fallen away. Torah is going to be the last one standing. But what I want to discuss in this video is a fascinating idea. And that is that when the theory of evolution was first popularized in 1859, The Origin of Species, so Darwin was using the model of random evolution. It means that he came up with a brilliant theory and a way through natural forces alone to or to develop very sophisticated and complex organisms from very simple, humble beginnings. And that's obviously unguided and without the most important premise of the Torah, that is the existence of a God, of a creating, sustaining, and supervising God. Now, one of the proofs that he used was the idea of vestigial organs. That means that as we developed, as we evolved, as we progressed as organisms, we didn't necessarily shed all vestiges of our previous existence. So we would have a little bit of what's called junk DNA left over from previous existence. And he lists in his book, he lists numerous examples of organs that have no function and are just leftovers from previous existence when they had a function. Now, ironically, the Pituitary Gland was once considered a vestigial organ before its vital, pivotal, crucial, and very important function was discovered. But this poses a very serious problem for us. That if God created us, why would we have functions or organs or pieces of our physiology that have no use? So in 2007, a group of scientists from Duke University, they took a long, hard look at 7 vestigial organs, and they found functions and uses for almost all of them. So they looked at the appendix, which is obviously the prototype of all vestigial organs, the gallbladder, the spleen, the tonsils, the wisdom teeth, and the uvula, which is that little punching bag in the back of our throats, that little dangly, fleshy little thing, where the doctor sticks all the way down your throat. And they tried to discover, are there really any functions for these organs? And what they found is that every one of these organs, once considered vestigial, once considered left over from previous existences, have a function. For example, the appendix. The appendix is a storage house, a basin of good bacteria in our intestines to resupply, reline the intestines if the bacteria, the lining of those organs gets shattered away, and it's a storage house for good bacteria to reline the intestines should the need come. And it's interesting, the scientists discovered that appendicitis. The reason why we have so many cases of appendicitis in America today is because we have such a clean environment and we drink clean water, and our bodies never need to replenish the bacteria in our internal organs, the good bacteria, that is. And therefore, the appendix is underused. And because the appendix is underused, it gets inflamed because an organ that's not being used gets inflamed. As opposed to in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, where there is little clean water and infection is rampant, there appendicitis does not exist. Well, really, it exists in a very small because their appendix are in full function. But functions like that were found for every one of those organs, besides for one. And there is one organ that the scientists couldn't find a reason why we have it. And what's that organ? Which organ does science not have today a solution for why we have it? These little things. Earlobes. Nobody knows why we have earlobes, concludes that survey. That study in 2007 from Duke University. And fascinating, interesting, is that the Torah doesn't give us descriptions of the functions of any organs, or almost any organs. Besides for one. There's only one organ that the Torah explains to us why we have them, and that's the earlobes. And that is, as you look in the Talmud in Tubot, Subis 5b, the reason why we have earlobes is to cover our ears when we hear Lashon Hara, when we hear evil, gossip, mongering talk. To cover our ears, we shouldn't listen. We shouldn't hear what other people have to say negatively about other people. And I found it fascinating that the Torah says that this is one thing that you could scour all the science books and you could look everywhere, you won't find a reason for it. Because in the natural realm, in the realm of nature and science, you won't be able to find a reason why we have one of these. Therefore, here I'll have to tell you why you have them, and that is to cover up your ears to not hear evil talk. I feel like it's time for the collective consciousness of humanity to recognize that the Torah is here to stay. It's going to be the last man standing, and it's a very good place to look for answers to your questions.